In this video, I want to review a recent tour of the Tacony Creek Park arranged by the Tacony Frankford Watershed Partnership. I'd like to show you what I'm calling the Upper Tacony Creek Park stream trash graveyard, which is near where Roosevelt Blvd crosses Tacony Creek. And I'd like to outline the causes of this Upper Tacony Creek Park stream trash graveyard and to begin the discussion of what we may be able to do to address this problem and both tackle street litter and stream trash. So let's start with this map of Tacony Creek. Point 1 is Juniata Park, which is the lower end of Tacony Creek Park. And the park winds its way following the creek, covers both sides of the creek, and ends at the Cheltenham Township line at point 2 there. Now, I'm going to spend a good bit of time talking about the stream trash graveyard, which is located just north of Roosevelt Blvd in the creek, in the Tacony Creek Park area. This is the first glimpse I had of this particular stream trash graveyard, and as we walked along, we proceeded north. We saw some litter, but when we came to this location, it was dramatically worse than we had seen at other points. So to me personally, I was confused as to why in the heck were we seeing so much more stream trash at this point. Very upsetting to have a park with this kinds of sets of conditions, and frankly disappointed from a water pollution control standpoint. We've made a lot of progress, but we still have a long ways to go. So I personally had to find out for myself what the cause of the problem of all the stream trash litter was. I made several return visits, and I'd like to tell you about what I've found as I believe the cause of this particular problem and begin the discussion to help focus attention on what we can do to address this particular problem. And the problem really I want to focus on is the Upper Tacony Creek Park stream trash graveyard and the elimination of this problem. So let's go back up to Adams Avenue for a minute and think about street litter. And the photo on the left is the west side of the Adams Avenue Bridge, and it simply shows you a drainage area where it's been paved so that the runoff can pass on down. You can see there's litter in the drainway, and then on the right we see Crescentville Road, which is west of Tacony Creek. We see a stormwater inlet with a buildup of vegetative debris as well as street litter. Now this is a Google Map Street View photo. It shows you the park. You can see the pedestrian walkway over the creek, and we see the Adams Avenue Bridge approach and an extensive field of street litter that's just very unpleasant to look at. But I want to begin to ask you to have you think about what happens to this Adams Avenue street litter when it rains. Well, obviously we get a lot of runoff coming off, and that is going to wash that litter right into the creek. So really it's not only that we have a problem with street litter in the street situation, but ultimately we have to think about that it's winding up in our streams. And in this case, we have a attractive section of the stream just downstream of Adams Avenue. And what I want to do is call your attention to this bottle. This bottle is a classic, what's called floatable street litter. In this case, it's floating, and it's going to wind up downstream somewhere. It's going to wind up either on the bank, caught up in branches or whatever, or it'll wind up in a floodplain, possibly get caught in a tree or a brush, or it'll pass on down to the Delaware River beyond to the bay or even the ocean. So it really is a water pollution problem that starts on land. Now I want to go back to the Upper Tacony Creek Park stream trash graveyard and draw the link between this street litter and what we're seeing in the park. This is another Google map view. This shows the area view of the particular part of the park I want to address between Roosevelt Boulevard and Tabor Road. This is the Roosevelt Boulevard crossing the creek. Now you can see some trash caught up in the vegetation on the right, and there's other trash. Now we're going to take a closer look, and the first thing we want to do is get a clear understanding of how the stream flows here. You can see the stream coming down from the north. It bears west, and we have an unusual dog leg, is one way I might call it. You can see that part that's heading to the north west, and then it makes its way under the span of Roosevelt Boulevard. Now, this is a complicated location because we have a very large outfall, T8, standing for Tacony, and it's outfall number 8. It happens to be a combined sewer overflow, and this is what it looks like. It's 12.5-foot diameter at the base, so it's a very large overflow structure. And so during storm events, rainstorm events, when the flow exceeds the capacity of the downstream sewer, we'll see an overflow at this particular point, a combined sewer overflow. Now, in addition, we have the graveyard area that I've indicated in this greenish color. This was an old ball field that used to get flooded frequently, and apparently in 1972, after Hurricane Agnes, it was discontinued as a ball field. And today, as we look at it, we see it has a fairly extensive tree cover. Now, I'm going to walk you through this particular area, and I want to show you some detailed photos so we can get a better close-hand view of what's going on. You can see this park bench. It's being filled with silt and debris, and you can see a fair amount of trash and litter here. Now the question becomes, okay, is this people bringing the litter in, or is in fact what I suspect is happening is a fair amount of it is flowing in with stormwater? So this shows you where that particular park bench is located, just to the southwest of the T8 CSO that we saw before. Now this video shows you the magnitude of the litter field. I had to go to a video because I found that the still photo just didn't capture the extent of the litter. It's quite wide area, I'd say several acres, and frankly very disturbing. And you can see that video was taken in the graveyard area itself, which is north of the creek. The third area I wanted to describe is this, what I call the bottle line. These are bottles that have washed off the street. My suspicion is they've washed off the street. They've washed into this abandoned ball field area, and as the water subsided after the storm, we're left with this debris line. So this is debris that has been washed into the park area from the stream, from upstream litter. And you can see that is, again, just north of the stream. That tells me that we're getting much of this debris coming downstream. And part of the question ultimately we need to address is how much of it is coming downstream from Adams Avenue and from Cheltenham and above, and how much may be coming out of the T8 CSO. The last of these detailed photos is showing you the stream bed itself, and this is quite a buildup of rags, litter, debris that again flowed down the stream, and as the water subsided after the rainstorm, we're left with this material that did not get washed all the way down. And you can see that's located just to the northwest of the dogleg that we called it before. Now, the big question that I really think we need to ask is, why in the heck are we getting so much stream trash here? We have litter in the city. It's definitely a serious concern. Why are we seeing such a buildup at this location? Is it park visitors? Is it illegal dumping? Or is it upstream litter that's being washed in and for some reason settles out in this particular area? So to address that, I was fortunate to find the Water Department has an extensive field survey, and this was a results of work done in 2004. On the left, we see the aerial photo. We can see Roosevelt Boulevard. If you look by the P in Philadelphia, you'll see that's the location of the T8 CSO. And if you see MS 102, that's a cross-section that was done. And a cross-section is basically giving you the elevation of the stream as you move from the east bank to the west bank. What I want to call your attention to is this wide, shallow floodplain in the west bank. What that is that's this area over here. It's pretty wide, and it's pretty shallow. So when the storm rainfall occurs, the stream flow will increase. It gets up to the flood-prone elevation, and then it goes over that flood-prone elevation, winds up in this area in the floodplain. Now, depending on the wind conditions, it may well blow a lot of that floating trash into the floodplain, and then as the water subsides and the stream flow continues to drop back down, that trash will be left in the floodplain. And this is the kind of a situation we then get left with, is we have that trash building up storm after storm, and we wind up with a very unsightly condition. Now, in addition to the buildup in the floodplain, we're also seeing buildup in the vegetation. This is a September 8th photo that shows a series of bags, plastic bags and other debris that has been caught just north of Roosevelt Boulevard. Now, just to back up, this is a beautiful park. It has a tremendous potential. It does have full-time residents, and really, I think it deserves to be treated better than to be left as a stream trash graveyard. So the park definitely needs help, and I think what I want to do is wrap up this with simply a couple of key points that we have to make the connection between street litter, stream trash, and damage to our parks. And in future videos, I'll be talking about what we can try to do to address this problem. But the first thing we have to do is be aware that we have a serious stream trash problem in Tacony Creek, just north of Roosevelt Boulevard, and we really need to take action as a concerned citizens to address this problem. Thank you.